This is One Up at E3 2009. Garnet Lee here, and right now I have the guys from Turn 10 in here. That's John Wendell, he's the art director on the game, and Che Chow, community manager and former One Up alumni guy.
It's great to be back. It's great to be back, Garnet.
Thanks for coming by. And they're going to show us Forza 3. We're going to do a little game demo, and we're going to talk some about the time that's gone into building a pretty impressive racing game. So you do the art. Let's start off with the cars. Talk about where you were with Forza 2's cars and where you want to be with Forza 3's cars in the final game.
Absolutely. I mean, with Forza, the car is the star. So the car is the center of our game, and this time we're going crazy with it. We're increasing the car count. We're going to have over 400 cars this time around. The amount of detail in each car is crazy. We've got 10 times the polygons that we had in Forza 2, 4 times the texture resolution. What that means is an incredible amount of detail in these cars, as you'll see in the video and in the build. Just every last little minute detail in here, like on the Audi R8, for example, you'll see the 24 little LEDs around the headlight that signify Audi's connection to the 24 Hours of Le Mans. We've got working cockpits now. The cars can now roll over under damage, so we have fully modeled undercarriages under the car. Every detail's in there. We're really excited. It's all still running at 60 frames a second.
One of the things I think that stood out a lot in that demo presentation at the Microsoft press event was how beautiful the backgrounds are. How do you manage such a long draw distance and so much environment and not without sacrificing the performance of the game? Because it looks fantastic and you really are able to see a long way out.
Thanks. We did a lot of work towards that. This is our second time shipping on this Xbox 360. We rewrote our graphics engine from the ground up, our content pipeline. What's that enabled us to do is get the most out of the box now. We're really pushing the box to its limits, opening up draw distances, putting incredible detail in close, normal maps, parallax maps, all the stuff that gives you that cool detail. We're also creating several new original environments, one of which we're showing here at E3, Camino Viejo in southern Spain in Montserrat. What this does, it gives us an opportunity not only to create a great ribbon for driving, but it gives us a great environment with cool visual moments that really show off the tech that we're doing here. A track like a Sebring or a Silverstone, while they're really fun to drive, they're only going to be so visually interesting to look at. You take a place like this, like Montserrat, Spain, you can't help but get visual moments in a place like this, and it really shows off what we can do.
You used a word that I recognize there, the ribbon for driving, but explain some about how, as designers, you lay out a good track for a good driving and racing experience and how much freedom you get doing imaginary ones.
Well, when we do them, the fictional tracks, yeah, we have a lot of creative freedom there, but we have such a wide range of cars. I mean, we've introduced some new car types as well, like SUVs, additional classics, new race types. So what's fun for one type of car might not be fun for another type of car. So with these fictional environments, we have to always keep that in mind. What are the range of performances of the car? What sort of racing is going to be happening on this track? And try to keep that fun. So we do a lot of play testing with this. What we get in, what we think is easy and fun, we'll bring in some people, play test it, get their feedback, watch where they're making mistakes. A lot of these environments will cut up into multiple ribbons as well, so that when you're in slower cars, they're smaller and tighter, and when you get in faster cars, they're bigger and more wide open. And we put fun moments in there as well, like this one's kind of got a little drop off kind of jump in it that creates some exciting moments, cool impact areas, that kind of stuff too.
So one of the things I know Che's going to show off for us is we've got the new cockpit view. And this is something, Che, you know how much I always wanted a cockpit view because I really like driving from it.
3 years ago when I arrived at Turn 10, I just played PGR 3, 360 had just come out not too long ago. The first thing I said to Dan it was literally one of our first conversations was like, why aren't we doing cockpit view for Forza 2? He was like, dude.
It's hard.
He was like, you know how many cars we have? And, et cetera. It is hard. Cockpit view has been a huge investment for us. And we have cockpit view for all 400 plus cars. And you have to really see the cockpits later when we're going to show, throughout our PR schedule, we're going to show open cockpit race cars with some of the cockpit views with steering wheels with like MFDs on them. Insane. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, with the full
dials? Yeah, exactly. Totally working digital gauges. Right now, as you can see in the R8 V10, we have working gauges here for this cockpit. So you can expect to see that for all 400 plus cars.
So that's crazy, and that's something that, and especially from an art standpoint, has probably taken an enormous amount of resources to get to. That was the explanation. I remember the explanation. It wasn't about, I understood what it was about. What are some of the challenges besides art to making a game work out of cockpit view? Because it really gives you a different perspective on the way the race goes.
Well, that's one of the reasons we wanted added as well. I mean, not only is it cool to look at and you lust after the inside of the car as much as you do the outside, but it's a much more immersive feeling. The sense of speed is heightened. You really feel like you're in the race. It kind of leads to the drama. And now with rollover, when you flip the car in cockpit view, it just crazy. It's more like I race in real life, and when things go wrong, they go really wrong. And the same thing happens now in the game. You really get a sense for that as the world's flipping over, as you're rolling over the car. It's really cool and exciting.
Can you talk to them about how the physics model has changed from Forza over the evolution of Forza? Because I've always felt that one of the things that Forza got right was a feeling of the contact patch of a tire on pavement, and it's just something I've never really felt in other racers as strongly. What goes into making that happen?
That's because our physics simulation, honestly, is beyond what anybody else is doing in this. Now in Forza 3, we were already doing things like tire heat and middle, outside, inside edge of the tire, managing core temperature, the temperature of the gases in the tires. A simulation is really only as good as its tire simulation. It's where the rubber meets the road. It's the same thing in real racing. With Forza 3, we're doing even more. Now we're modeling tire flex, and we actually show that visually. When you go through a corner, you'll see the tire actually deform and flex underneath, and you get the proper slip angle between the contact patch and the carcass of the tire. What that does, it gives you a realistic feeling for how a tire behaves at the limit of traction, and the car just feels right. A lot of times, people don't know physics and all the things about slip angles and contact patches. They just know something doesn't feel right, and that's why Forza feels right, because we put so much time and energy into our tire physics, where the rubber meets the road. We've worked with Michelin engineers, we've worked with our partners at McLaren to drive the F1 program, and compared notes and got our tire physics just right. We're doing things with game physics that nobody else can touch.
Well, I'm really glad you guys brought it out for us. The game's looking great. I mean, obviously, you're headed for a fall release. You got a lot more time to work on it. What's that last push going to be like for you guys?
The game's pretty close to being done. We've built all the content. All the cars and tracks are built. It's running at 60 frames a second. The build's really solid. It's been running really great here at E3. Really, we're just closing down bugs at this point. We're shipping. We're on shelves in October.
There was a point, I think there was a turning point for this game in terms of polish. Early on this year, around February, when we all came back from vacation and everything just fell into place, and I'm in charge of taking screenshots and doing stuff like that. And so like my team, we capture assets from this game, and one day we just went, wow, this game looks insane, like insanely good. And even now, our system devs are still improving on lighting and a lot of the stuff that we're doing. And they're sending out random screenshots as tests, right? Like, hey, everyone, look at this. I've just hooked this up. And like John and I were at E3, and we're looking at our phones. And we're like, dude, is that our game? That looks amazing. And so the game will only continue to look better from now until October.
Hey, by the way, who set up the video team at the car? What do you call that? The acrobatic team that did the video at the end. Who set that up? That's awesome.
So that's a pretty cool story. So about 2 years ago, it was shortly after I started at Turn 10. This kid from Canada sent me an email, and he was like, hey, check out my videos that I put on YouTube. And I watched them, and it was like, yeah, exactly. They're like drift videos, but he was like really in the initial D and stuff like that, so he was cutting in like cartoon footage. And I was like, wow, who is this guy? So I got in touch with him, and when I went to Canada to do a press tour for Forza 2, he actually drove like 300 miles to meet me, So, yeah, and so anyway, we got in touch there, and I hired him. And now he's on my team. Some of the videos that you saw at E3, the B-roll video that we have, it was all done by him. And so he's basically driving, capturing footage, using our WMV exporters, and then like dropping that into Premiere and making videos with it. So he also has a team called Project Blackjack, and they have an incredible, incredible drift talent. And so what they do in Forza 2, we didn't have a video exporter. So they're doing this over Xbox Live in real time. They have camera cars on the track to do special angles, as you can see as they drift by them.
I remember they'd show like how they shot this video, and you see the cars sitting around, so you could do all this. Oh, it's awesome.
I mean, really what it comes down to is like they're a clan of people, highly skilled, and they just do it through live. It's all real time. It's sick. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Thanks for bringing out the games, John, Che. Good to see you, man. Thanks.